Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where I'm still mysteriously missing 12 achievements, or 11 achievements, or something like that, but I've crowdsourced the solution, I've verified the integrity of my game cache. I'm kind of confused about what's going on, honestly, because a lot of the achievements are not unlocked, but I have the items. Like, I've seen Trinket Smelter in the game. Could you just give me the achievement for it? I've earned it. Anyway, NQ7YGSRY, Sad Onion. So our rate of fire is, I want to say great because we got Sad Onion, but it's really just above average. Speed's good, damage is slightly below average, and our active item is Black Hole, which is really like the best thing we got going for us right now, because I've never used Black Hole properly, at least not for an extended period of time. The Batwing, hilariously enough, is also an item, or a trinket, I should say, that I don't have unlocked. So I don't know. I guess from the game's perspective, I just cheesed my way into it by getting it on an Eden run or something like that, even though I've seen it on 100,000 occasions. The sun may rise in the east, at least it settles in a final location, of course. Get me out of here. What's the strategy? What's the Ludo game theory strategy? Oh, I said game regardless. I can't get the what's the game plan phrase out of my head. I mean, it always goes, what's the game plan? Oh, it's very simple. Even if it was complicated, I would tell you it was simple because I don't want you to be intimidated, but this one is very simple. We basically are 100% okay, especially from an HP standpoint. All we need is to up our damage. We also can use Black Hole. Ooh, that's kind of a bummer. We can use Black Hole to crack Tinted Rocks, and I think there was a Tinted Rock back there, but our damage is a little wonky, even though our rate of fire is good, so I do want to save Black Hole to maybe, you know, take care of bosses a little bit more easily than we otherwise could. Wow. It's not even that range down is that bad. It's just, you know, 2 pills, 2 stat downgrades is suboptimal. That was bad damage on my part. We should have, I mean, in hindsight, dodged, I guess, towards the enemy that wasn't a champion, but it's alright. We got an HP upgrade pill. That's right, I can't really complain. We did get an HP upgrade pill. Alrighty. So, I think that perhaps I've made a horrible mistake by using Black Hole. Come on. There's Black Hole, Blank Card, Blank Rune, Black Rune. You know, there's too many polymorphically seeming named words here. We gotta slow our rolls there. We gotta slow our holes there. Cube of Meat's gonna be excellent. We should not, and this is where I now go, you know, I think we've got a more advanced game plan. That game plan involves betraying our underlying human nature and not using Black Hole plus Cube of Meat, or Ball of Bandages in this case, to deal damage, because it will lead to us dying, and I would rather not have that happen if possible. It's so tempting to just go, you know, Black Hole all the enemies into the center and then run into them with the Ball of Bandages, but the pull of the Black Hole is my favorite King Crimson album, but also a bit of a scary and unwieldy proposition to deal with. He's done it. Is it worth, you know, 2 Spirit Hearts there to lose Black Hole for 4 rooms? Yes. Also, that's something I've almost never done, and I'm happy with it. We did not take 2 hits leaving the curse room after finding out there was a mimic. That never happens. Sincerely. I always take 2 damage, so I gotta be pretty happy about that. One more bomb also gives us, or one more Black Hole charge for that matter, also gives us a Tinted Rock there. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we should pat ourselves on the back a little bit there. Good floor. You know, real-time knowledge of Black Hole helped us out. I'm not gonna go to the shop because I want to spare ourselves the money that will allow us to get to the blood bank on the next floor. Not that we have a lot of HP to work with, but, you know, it would be nice to have a chance to turn our potential red hearts into something that's actually useful, like a better item. But for now, let's head downwards. I am, at the heart of it, I am self-hypocritical. So expect me to use ball of bandages on, like, every available opportunity here. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. That's the way I play the game. Is it the way America does it? I don't know. Maybe. Mostly I'm just quoting the first Iron Man film. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ghost baby! Take me by the hand, make me understand. Glowing Hourglass is interesting, but not as interesting as not taking it. And instead sticking with the black hole, which is working out well. I mean, when you consider that it does okay damage, semi-neutralizes enemies, and also cracks rocks, it's almost like... It's several... Oh man, if I'd known we had an arcade, that would have been a much better opportunity for us to use the Temperance card. Life goes on, but still. But yeah, it also cracks rocks. You know, it's got the Bob's Rotten Head and Mr. Boom sort of synergy along with it. Oh, no, I guess it wouldn't have mattered at all, actually. And then it also's got the damage component associated with it as well. Like, it's a pretty useful item across a couple of different spectra? I don't know, it's a word doesn't necessarily get used that much in a video game context, and as such, I'm completely ignorant of it. Let's move onwards here. 29 cents puts us in a wonderful situation for shop purposes. Mostly this is because of the... Ooh, I always become like a Scooby-Doo villain when I'm about to take damage. Ooh! I would have done it if not for you meddling... Well, at this point, I'm mostly still salty about that giant champion who one-shot us despite us having 2 HP. And then every freaking ancient Isaac scholar comes out of the woodwork. Oh, you didn't know the giant champions do 2 damage to you? That's the page 1 of the Isaac rulebook, of course. People forget. Dude, there's a time in the Isaac world where there was a mystery surrounding the deals with the devil. I'm not saying it was like a widespread ARG sort of thing, but sincerely, I remember like Isaac came out, and then I believe... Why not try King Baby? Just give it a shot. I believe that deals with the devil were added in the Halloween update, which came out like, you know, a month after the game launched. And I remember reading, like, a Rock, Paper, Shotgun article that was like, there's so many things I don't know about the Binding of Isaac. Like, did you know deals with the devil aren't random? They're like a weighted reward based on your performance on that floor. And that blew my mind wide open. I was talking about it in episodes. I was like, is anybody aware of this? This is amazing. You know, we're very lucky to be in this situation where now we're like, oh yeah, well that's it affects your performance with a 0.015 damage multiplier, but it also increases the rate of your tears by 10%, you know? We know everything. We got the data mining. But that's like, there's still some joy and wonder in the world when a giant champion can one-hit you from 2 HP. And by joy and wonder, I mean an incredible amount of frustration that makes me question my lot in life. But not really. That's an exaggeration. That's exaggeratory. So I'm not displeased with the run. We do have potential angel outs. Okay, be cautious, but also kick the crap out of these enemies with your ball of bandages. I'm not displeased with this run, but we haven't really improved much. Sure, we've improved our rate of fire by 25%. And it's a good 25%. It wasn't like we were at 100 tier delay and now we're at 75. But we're missing the raw damage stats right now. We really... Eventually we'll need those. I wouldn't even say we need them this floor or next floor. But, and I'm not even worried about being on schedule. Bomb for a black heart is a decent trade, but I almost at this point would rather save the bomb for a tinted rock for the chance of getting small rock, honestly. But it's probably a little bit too finesse. And finesse, you know, I don't consider finesse to always be a good thing, you know? Sometimes it's better to just make the smart play. You know what? Yeah. I think that that's a decent opportunity for us. Kind of hoping it would crack some of the mushrooms as well, but ooh. So we had the ability to fly there. I didn't realize until the end, but Dim Bulb is a pretty good item. And there are absolutely spacebar items that will work excellently with it. Now, I don't know if Black Hole's one of them. But I think it's a better trinket than the Batwing for now. Now, admittedly, I don't understand the intricacies of the Batwing 100%. Dull Razor is kind of sweet. Instead, I ended up trading that bomb for 5 cents. But do we have anything that benefits us with Dull Razor? I don't believe so. How does it work with Dim Bulb? Is it just a stat increase? No, it doesn't affect it. If it affected it, I would probably try to work with it. Or if we get an item that works really well with it. We might be able to get 3 bombs for our black hole charge here, but I'm not positive. In fact, I'm just going to do this. Had to check. You never know if that's going to be Magic Mush. But yeah, like there's plenty of items, like a Thame. If we get a Thame, we will go with Dull Razor. I love Dull Razor as an item. But I also want an item that possibly will work for us with Dim Bulb, which is not a huge stat increase, but we're kind of in that beggars can't be choosers camp right now where we don't need a huge stat increase to be meaningful. Just even a good stat increase is potentially transformative for this run. This run, that I should point out, is taking its toll on me. It's said goodbye too many times before, but also this run that is perfectly safe right now. There's very little immediate danger. We did get a deal with the Angel. So, I mean, if you pick up Eden's Soul, thoughts arrive like butterflies. I guess we'll roll Eden's Soul. And then can't help but notice you're not breaking that rock. Alright. We'll be leaving then. I was really hoping that would give us Angel Precedent. I think given the rules of engagement, we'd have to be forgiven for thinking that it would give us Angel, not Angel Precedent, but at least blow up the Angel statue. So we did cost ourselves a little bit. What is Eden's Soul again? It gives you 2 random items, right? But the items are weighted based on where you use them. Not even weighted, they're just seeded. Not seeded is not the right word. The pool that they draw from is dependent on where you use them. So obviously, my big Eden's Soul plays here. Don't get it twisted. I'm saying Eden's Soul. My big Eden's Soul plays here are a deal with the Angel. Or a deal with the Devil. And we got plenty of time to make that work. The downside, of course, is that we're getting no value out of Dim Bulb during this. And we also did lose I botched that so bad. Don't even worry about that bomb. I tried to place it to hit them, but then I was going to kick it into them, but then a spider came behind me, and I was like, if I kick it, that spider's going to hit me. And it was basically just a big old waste for no reason. And entirely my fault, so we'll move on. Abel. Yeah, I mean, in the meantime, we're getting no value out of our spacebar items, so we're really getting a little bit of a double whammy there, but a double whammy. Hopefully, the juice is worth the squeeze in the end. Surely there are more than 2 crappy deal with the Angel items. And there's more than 2 crappy deal with the Devil items. But there's also at least 2 amazing ones in each one of those pools. In the deal with the Devil, you know, there's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 items that could basically transform the game for us. In the deal with the Angel room, Holy Mantle with the ball of bandages is kind of a little boring, but also good. And of course, Godhead and Sacred Heart are excellent. Although I do think Sacred Heart is not quite a game winner by itself, but I have it so rarely that I don't think I really get to get a well-rounded opinion on it. Like, when it shows up, basically my #1 opinion of Sacred Heart is like, holy crap, it's Sacred Heart. And then after that, I go, okay, we win. We've probably lost rounds with Sacred Heart, but it's been a while since I could hold my head up high. It's been a while since I said I'm sorry. It's not true, I'm Canadian. of all the Canadian stereotypes, we do say sorry a lot. But again, I don't know how many times I've talked about this in episodes. At least it's another room of combat, so we can get closer to getting Eden Soul, just in case we get to deal with the devil here. But, wow, 2 luck-ups, too. I think there's no shame in saying sorry. I think it's a pride thing. Any mild inconvenience could be met with a sorry. Like, I was making, I was at a fast food restaurant, and I was using the kiosk to make an order. We have these kiosks, and I'm sure these are common in other parts of the world as well, but just in case, you know, because they're relatively recent. You can self-order, and then it submits the order to the kitchen, and then somebody hands it to you at the counter, you know? So instead of having to go up and be like, oh, I'll have a double cheese, whatever, right? Instead, you just, you know, enter your desired shame into the digital screen in front of you, and then you only have to interact with a human being who's judging you once at the very end of the transaction. So I was using the online kiosk, but there was nobody else in the... I use the R word loosely here, but there was nobody else in the restaurant. We'll just take it. Gained HP, gained damage, gained rate of fire, lost luck. As far as I'm concerned, that's fine. But, so I was making the order, and there was a lady at the counter, and she said, that's fine, I'll just take your order. You don't need to bother punching it into that system. And I was like, oh, sorry. And I gave her my order. Now, you would think this is the worst story of all time, but it goes somewhere, I promise. First off, I'm not using the kiosk because I'm worried that it's going to inconvenience the person behind the counter. I'm making the order using the kiosk because if there's a mistake on my receipt, it's my responsibility. Instead of, you know, I'm not ragging on fast food workers at all, but we've all had situations, you know, human beings make mistakes. You go, oh, I'll have a Big Mac with no onions, and then you get it and the box says plain, but then there's onions on it, right? That mistake can still happen, but at least I know if I made the right order, so I got a better case when I go up. It's not about that he said, she said stuff, you know what I mean? Anyway, so then I go up, and the reason I was at the fast food restaurant, not to sell her out, is because my wife was like, I'm feeling this. Can you pick up some of this on your way home from school? And I was like, yeah. Because deep down inside, there's an animal part of my brain that wants to eat fast food all the time. So when, you know, my wife is like, I want fast food, I go, oh, I don't know. You know, it's pretty bad for you. But on the inside, I'm like, yes! An excuse to eat chicken tenders. But anyway, that says something deeper about my character and existence, I'm sure. Either way, said, okay, I'll have a double buddy burger. I said A and W. I have a double buddy burger with cheese. Make it a combo. Give me the onion rings. And, you know, the drink doesn't matter because they got a fountain there. This isn't one of those frosted mug root beer A and W's. This is like a, it's got to happen ASAP, right? ASAC Schrader. And she goes, okay, your total will be like, you know, $9. And I go, hold on. You know I look like a man who's apparently in a solo fast food part of his life. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'd like to add some more to my order. I'll also have a 3 chicken strips meal with onion rings and a drink. And then she goes, okay, your total's gonna be like 13 something. And I'm like, oh no, that doesn't seem right. But I was like, maybe it's just cheaper than I expected. Fast food combo in Canada typically goes for, you know, $8 to $10 depending on what you're getting. It's a lot of money, I know, but the Canadian dollar sucks, so it's sort of not, but it is expensive-ish, I guess. I mean, you could eat string cheese for cheaper, probably. Regardless, I get home, I open the bag, classic mistake. I never look at the bag inside the restaurant. I don't know why. I think maybe I want to avoid conflict. Just get home, and then the mistake is already made, and there's nothing you could do about it. Open it up, 1 order of onion rings. She thought... I mean, in a way, I was a little offended. I was like, you think I got a double burger? 3 chicken strips, onion rings, and 2 drinks? That's a large meal. I'm not denying that there have been times in my life where I hunger on that magnitude. But good God. What a strange order for a person to make, either way. Anyway, so then... The moral of this story, as it gets deeper and deeper into this strange rabbit hole... By the way, Eden Soul does not work endlessly, unfortunately. It would be sick, though. Let's check this. 2 of diamonds. Great item. We might as well buy this because it's cheap. We might as well get that. We're not doing our boss rush, I think, so let's just donate. The moral of the story is always use the kiosks. Because I walked in thinking I was getting dinner, and instead, I ended up playing, you know, one of the co-lead roles in a metaphorical stage show about the rise of automation. I wanted to use the kiosk, but you have to be some kind of special jerk when you're making your order on the kiosk and then somebody goes, "No, sir, I'll help you. Don't worry about using that fiddly little machine that never makes any mistakes, really." Or at least a order of magnitude less mistakes than a human being, just due to our nature. And I'll be like, "No, sorry, I trust the machine more." Because you gotta know that later, she's gonna hand me the meal. And that's gonna be awkward. Anyway, so basically, I will never give my order to a human being again. And I want to say that it's because the human being made a mistake, but really it's because I, you know, didn't check the bag inside of the restaurant. But still, those kiosks, there's some troubling things about automation. You know, I think it could change our world in many different ways. But again, I couldn't help but feel that I was existing... Oh, we're so lucky here. That I was existing in a metaphor for why those robots are dope. Anyway, this was pretty bad. I don't even think I'm going to take Demon Baby because I want to preserve our angel chances, but that was actually like a horrible payout for Eden Soul, whose thoughts arrive like butterflies. Okay, let's play this. I don't know. I don't think I got across the comedic part of that story as well as I wanted. I think I forced it a little bit. But I was fine using the kiosk. It's a weird situation where I'm like, I would rather you just be here and get paid. That's fine by me. But not assist me. Not just because I'm a jerk, I guess, but also because it just complicates things, you know? Imagine, and I'll admit that I sound in the wrong here. And I don't think it's because I'm in the wrong necessarily. We will take Lemon Mishap. Although I actually think Necronomicon is probably better. Lemon Mishap gives us a longer period with the stat upgrade from Dull Razor, or Dim Bulb, I should say. And Dim Bulb. And Small Rock is so valuable here. But anyway, imagine you went to a bank. Imagine it's a small bank. It's got like one ATM and then a couple of people at the teller desk. I don't think we want anything else here. And then you're like, oh, I just gotta put in my paycheck, you know, because it's... I wouldn't... Brain, what was that? Because it's the year 1992 and we don't have direct deposit or something. But we have ATMs. It's a weird situation. Anyway, you get the idea. You go to the ATM and you're halfway through punching it in, and then the teller goes, "Sir, what are you doing? You don't need to do that. I'll help you out right here." And you go over there. I think more people would be on my side in that situation. And I think they would be on my side because, you know, the ATM is like a norm right now. The ATM is just how you bank, unless you've got something that is really, really fiddly. And you're gonna think that I'm being paranoid again. But like, we've talked about this on the show many times. And I like doing it because it teases apart, you know, who... Our speed is 0.56. It teases apart who everybody on the NLSS is. Mouth likes to go talk to the teller because he gets enjoyment from human interactions sometimes. Mouth is an everyman. You know, we grew up in working class neighborhoods where people would pump your gas for you when you go to the gas station. You'd have a conversation with them and be like, "Hey, working hard, hardly working," right? I understand that. We're in a bit of a tough spot on this run, to be honest with you, by the way, but Nick goes because he's distrustful of corporations and he thinks that the machine is more likely to make an irreversible mistake than a human being. I, on the other hand, recognize that eventually Elon Musk is going to replace our very error-prone biological constructs with machine-based ones that is going to elevate us to our true form. I'm being like 30% facetious there. You know, there's some Black Mirror hesitation in my voice, but anyway... It might actually be the last time I used, this phrasing is troubling here. The last time I used a bank teller? No, but the last time I acquired the services of a bank teller instead of an ATM. I was depositing a check. And it was a check from a business deal, effectively. And when I gave her the check, I was like, hey, I need to deposit this in this account. And she's like, sure, that's cool. And then, you know, we were just making idle chit-chat. How's your day? Oh, it's pretty good, you know. Can you enter your PIN number into this thing? Blah, 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 right? Life's going okay. And then she finishes. Oh, that was close. And she gives me the receipt. And I go, hey, kind of a big problem. This check had a 3 in front of it. It was a check for $3 million. Henrik Sedin from the Vancouver Canucks gave me half his salary because I bet them they wouldn't make the playoffs this year. Sucker born every minute, man. But, no, it was like there's a 3 on the front of this check, but you've entered it as an 8. And as a result, these people aren't going to be too happy because, you know, you've given me 2.5 times as much money as they and I agreed upon in our contracted deal. And she went, oh no, sorry, that's my mistake. And it took like 15 minutes to issue like a reverse of the charge, and then I had to put it through again. And I'm not villainizing this particular teller. And I think that's where I want to come across here, is that there are people that go to, you know, a fast food place, and they make an order, and they go, oh, the idiot at the counter messed up my order. So I'm taking this because we need the speed, unfortunately. This is like the most we've ever swapped spacebar items on a run. It's ridiculous. But I, on the other hand, and this is very me, and this is genuinely me and not the character me, which is ridiculous, but, you know, that's how you know the character of Northernlion is also a lens through which, like, it's a real piece of glass through which abstractions on the wall are made. But whenever I order something from a person and there's an element of human error somewhere in the transaction, I go, it's because we're made of meat. I'm not getting on my knees and going, curse you, biological world. But I'm going, yep, that's a meat mistake right there. You know, I said, can I get 2 double cheeseburgers? For some reason, the 2 didn't go through, and now I got 1 double cheeseburger. So I don't blame the teller. Also, the handwriting on the check was pretty bad. But I have a trust of machines that might even border on naivete. But anyway, this subject has gone on too long. Suffice it to say, the lesson of this story is I'm always using the kiosks from this point on. And it's not because I hate the tellers, it's because I don't trust humanity. The machines may be cold and unfeeling, but in a way that's more comforting, you know? Because not all feelings are good. You know, you're talking to a machine, you're going, hey, 6 chicken McNuggets, and by the way, I want an extra sauce. Can I get hot mustard? And the machine goes, yeah. Invoking function extra sauce, that'll be 40 cents. You know, it's easy. Human being, you're like, hey, can I have an extra sauce? And the person behind the counter is like, oh yeah, sure, mindlessly extra sauce. Oh, I hope, you know, Jennifer says yes when I ask her to go to the dance this Friday. And that's, you know, there's beautiful parts about humanity as well. Like taking Jennifer to that dance next Saturday. Slugger. But on the other hand, I just want my McNugget sauce. I don't really care about your stuff. It doesn't matter to me. I don't go to the McDonald's to be like, I hope Jennifer says yes to this guy going to the dance. I go there to get my extra hot mustards. You know, it's the nature of the business transaction. It's a transactional transaction. There's a nature of transactionality in it. I mean, why wouldn't I just go straight down? This almost never happens. And in fact, that's something I should consider on dailies, apparently, is that you could get a button in extremely rare cases that just takes you down. It will make you hurt. Okay, so I'm gonna click. Why am I gonna click? Basically because I can. I want to add a little extra zaniness to this run. I am stunned, by the way, that despite being as, like, very slow, this run has actually come to the point where it's gonna finish quickly. And the reason for that is weird, but also sort of cool. We had an XL floor on the womb, and we found both boss fights really, really quickly. And then we actually, through like a 1 in 200 chance or something, got to skip the entirety of the cathedral after like a few rooms. So 1.5 speed is our cap. That's hilarious. So this is actually going to be like probably a sub 33-minute run or something along those lines. Despite the fact that it's kind of bad. And I'm for that. I don't want to taint that by talking about how using the clicker is like never the right decision because it's actually garbage, and if you have a good run, why would you ever reroll into a character that's almost certainly going to have exactly the same stats, except the clicker also causes you to lose an item when you use it? Because you know what? That's not what the clicker's there for. The clicker's not there for D100 style Zane. The clicker is there to be like, oh crap. You know, I random the keeper and want to get out of it or something like that. You know, there's other reasons for it. Like, I lost Cube of Meat. Oh, no, I didn't. It was just eclipsed. I eclipsed myself today. Really good beams there. Gotta respect those beams. And I'm really, like, I'm using the pony as soon as I can because we need the stats. I wish it weren't so. Like Eagle Eye Cherry in his #1 song. And then I wish I could think of another song by Eagle Eye Cherry that wasn't Save Tonight just to tie the joke together, but come on. There's two different kinds of people in the world. People who go, the guy's name is what? And then people who go, Eagle Eye. Cool name. Can you guess where I fall? I don't want to hate on the dude. I mean, he's probably in his, like, mid-40s at this point, right? Like, Save Tonight was a popular song in, like, oh, that was bad. Year 2001 or something, so. Eagle Eye Cherry's probably changed his name to Steve or something like that. He might manage the very same A&W that I ordered from. Probably not, though. He's probably, like, wasn't Eagle Eye Cherry, like, he's the son of someone famous? He's like Joni Mitchell's son or something like that? Because you can't get away with naming your son Eagle Eye unless you're already famous, because people are going to make fun of you. Like, you're naming your son after a perk from a Nuclear Throne run, like. Let me check here. Eagle Eye Cherry. All the autofills were like, Save Tonight, Save Tonight. He's a Swedish musician. Oh, that explains it. The son of jazz artist Don Cherry, but not the hockey Don Cherry, and Swedish painter/textile artist Monica Cherry. Of course. He is the half-brother to singer Titio. Other half-brothers are Jan Cherry, Christian Cherry, and David Cherry. What's it like? And he is in his mid-40s. What's it like to be born Eagle Eye Cherry and then your brother's name David? That's like, it's too far. I didn't know there was a Swedish Don Cherry. He looks nothing like the hockey Don Cherry that I know because of my Canadianisms. Anyway, that was nonsense. That was an interlude. But can you blame me? Like, Eagle Eye Cherry, that's a wild name. We did recently do a bit on names in an Isaac episode, so I'm not going to go down that road again. My opinion on names is very practical and boring. I think you should give your child a name that is in keeping with the social norms of the society in which you live. Otherwise, it puts too much pressure on them. I don't think your kid has to have a cool name. I don't think it necessarily... Many of you people, probably like 2% of you watching this have a cool name. I'm not hating on you. For many reasons. One of which is that's very superficial. The other one of which is you didn't name yourself, right? So I'm not sweating it, but... in general, I think you can never judge someone for their name. Even if they're like 60 years old. And they're like, you know, my name is Montaigne or something like that. You'd be like, okay, did your parents choose that? Then you're absolved of all sins. Name inertia is not a sin. If you change your own name and it has some special significance to you, I'm willing to cut you some slack, but you gotta also be like, I don't know, I guess here's where I'm getting here. Imagine if you change your name to, like, Gemini. And then every time someone asks your name and you say Gemini, they're gonna make a comment about your name, right? They're gonna be like, whoa, Gemini. Unusual name. And eventually, with human nature, the person in question, Gemini, would probably start to get a little aggravated. They'd be like, why is everyone asking about my name? Because you named Gemini. You did it to yourself. You do. And that's what really hurts. So I'm projecting a little bit on the Gemini here, I've got to be honest, but... Or maybe that's what you want. Maybe you can't have a cool name. This is all I'm saying. Here's the take-home message. You can't have a cool name and then be upset when people always talk about your name. You did it to yourself. It's like if I wore a leather jacket that had like a flaming skull on the back of it, and occasionally bald men with beards came up to me and said, hey dude, cool jacket. I'm not gonna be like, wow, why is this jacket getting so much attention? You know, you're appealing to a certain demo. And the demo is people who really love Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. All my friends love the Ghost Rider. The Ghost Rider was unfairly maligned by critics. Hello. That was an embarrassing moment for you to walk in, Kate. I was singing a song based on Nicolas Cage. Here we go. Let's go. Okay, this run was garbage, and thankfully they didn't give me a chance to go to Delirium. I'm stoked. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.